Good evening. I'll call the meeting of February 1st, 2017 for the Board of Selectmen to order. And as soon as Mr. Owen comes back, we'll ask him if we have a need for a non-public this evening. All right, thank you. Next on our agenda would be approval of minutes of January 18th, 2017.
Mr. Chairman, I have a number of changes. The first one is on page 9. It is the third paragraph up from the bottom. That is a motion, and we usually bold and underline our motions so they stick out. So I'd like that one bold and underlined. On page 10, third paragraph down is also a motion, and that also should be bolded and underlined. And then further down on the that page, under old business, the fourth paragraph down, the sixth line down, I'm looking at the percent, and it says employees are receiving anywheres from a 1.15, I think it was, not just 1.1. So that needs to be 1.15. Page 11. Yeah, the second paragraph, no, third paragraph, second line. We based our decision on a 1.1 increase to the consumer price index. Let's see, where'd I go that? I just from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seventh paragraph from the top. I'd like it to read, Linda Murray stated she counted on the department heads' reports to give her the information she needed to make decisions. And then the third paragraph from the bottom, I'd like it to read, Ms. Murray read from the department head's petition, quote, Pat Waterman questioned why the non-union was only receiving a 1.5%, and Mr. Owens stated it was the Board of Selectmen's decision for non-union. Mrs. Murray felt that the non-union workers were asking the Board of Selectmen for an explanation, not the town manager. And then on page 12, again, it's the second paragraph down. It's a motion. I'd like it bold and underlined. And that's all I have.
Okay. Any other corrections or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I talked to Pat Waterman, and she asked that in reviewing the minutes that we strike the word petition from the letter and just refer to it as a letter from the department heads. They did not intend it to be seen as a petition, as more as a letter to the Board of Selectmen.
What page is that on?
So that would be on page, it starts on page 10 under old business.
On the first paragraph under old business.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when I, on,
Is that page 12 you said?
no, did I read petition? I guess I did not. I don't see any petition in my thing.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. Page 11, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 correction. From the department head's petition. Pat.
Okay, and change that to a letter.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments or corrections? I would entertain a motion.
So, second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I'll abstain because I wasn't here. Okay, next on our agenda is a public hearing for a temporary outdoor permit for Fisherville Committee to hold a brew fest on February 11th, 2017, and March 4th, 2017, from 12 noon to 3 p.m. at the Dockside parking lot.
So we are just going to do the March 4th. We're not going to do the February 11th.
Could you just say your name for the record, please?
I'm sorry, Lucy Van Cleve.
Thank you.
So we're not going to do the February 11th just because it was too busy, lack of ice, and but we're going to concentrate on March 4th and having the Fisherville Brew and Chew out at the Dockside parking lot if the lake doesn't freeze. If we can go out on the lake, we'd like to go out on the ice.
Okay.
But parking lot is backup plan.
Kind of like it was last year there.
Yes.
Yep. I think it worked out quite nice last year, but
It did. It was really nice. We had a good showing.
do you have anything else you'd like to present on this? And then I'll open up the
we're
public hearing.
seeking for the permit to consume beer and wine, well, just beer, at the Dockside parking lot or out on the ice as well, so.
Yeah, we'll have that. That'll be, actually, we'll consider that as the next public hearing. We'll do those two separate ones here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll open up the public hearing to the audience if anybody has any questions or comments. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Board members?
Yes, and Mr. Chairman, at last meeting, I had asked the board to close the Dockside parking lot on February 11th, and that is no longer needed, so we can take that out. And we're not sure whether they're going to want to bring Bob houses to the parking lot on February 6th. That's still up in the air. I think if there's a possibility of maybe, and this is just something I was talking about today, to take them off Brewster Beach, we may try to do that, so that's up in the air. But the parking lot on the 11th is definitely out, so.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board? What's our thought on getting lucky with that freezing in? We'll ask our ice expert here on the docks.
We're hoping here, it's very soon, that it looks like the Broads are going to probably lock up either tomorrow night or the next night, and then once that ice stops moving around, then we'll turn those bubblers off the docks.
Yeah, hopefully that'll
So-
freeze the connection there. Good. Okay, I would entertain a motion on this first hearing.
I move to approve the issuance of a temporary outdoor event permit to Fisherville Committee to hold a Brew Fest event on March 4th, 2017, from 12 noon to 3 p.m. at the Dockside parking lot.
Second.
Motion is second on the floor. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we'll have the second part of that public hearing, which is to, let's see, to hold a public hearing, let's see, for the Fisherville Committee for a permit for the sale and consumption of beer and wine at the Brew Fest event on now just March 4th, 2017, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Dockside parking lot pursuant to Town Code Chapter 5, Alcoholic Beverages. Would you like to present again?
So my name is Lucy Van Cleve. I am seeking for approval to sell and consume beer and wine at the Dockside parking lot, but if it can be out on the ice, for the Fisherville Brew and Chew on March 4th.
Yep. Okay, we'll open up the public hearing to the audience if anybody has any questions or comments. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Board members, I do see you have your permits from the state already on this and everything correct.
The only thing we should probably point out that the event has a total capacity of 220 individuals.
Yeah, in the garden, in the beer garden, yep.
Any other questions or comments from the board? If not, I would,
I assume the board will want to waive the permit fee, given that it's a town committee.
Absolutely. I'd like
Yep.
to see that.
we could probably make that part of the motion, I would think.
Is it part of the,
I don't know if it's on there now or not. It's not, but I think it could be added in by whoever would like to make the motion.
I'll do that. I move that we approve the issuance of a permit pursuant to Town Code Chapter 5, alcoholic beverages for the sale and consumption of beer and wine only at the Brew Fest event on, from noon to 3 p.m. on March 4th, and also the town waive any permit fee.
I'll second that.
Motion a second on the floor. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's just hope for some nice weather.
Yes, thank you very much, which is cold is really what we
Yeah.
want.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next on our agenda is the bulk vote.
I move that we accept the bulk vote.
Second?
Motion a second on the floor. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. New business. First item up would be using Lakes Region Planning Commission to update our hazard mitigation plan.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you have a letter in your packet from the Lakes Region Planning Commission. They're asking us to confirm or reconfirm the town's intent to use them and their staff to assist us with updating our hazard mitigation plan, which is due to be updated this year. I think they're just trying to figure out how many communities they're going to have to staff and make sure they got enough resources lined up to support that.
Now, they do all this through a grant that they apply for through Homeland Security.
I believe so.
That was my question, too, that we weren't paying for it, they had the resources.
That's the way I understood it from the letter here, so. Any questions or comments from the board? If not, I think it's a great use of their expertise on that to help us out with this, so I would entertain a motion on that.
I'll move to reconfirm the town of Wolfeboro's intent to use the staff assistance to be provided by the Lakes Region Planning Commission to update the town's hazard mitigation plan.
Second.
Motion a second on the floor. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next on our agenda is the covenant to protect the public benefit pursuant to RSA 79-E, pursuant to the Wolfeboro Property Holdings, which is the Pickering House next door here.
Yes, that's correct, Mr. Chairman. At your last board meeting, the board voted to approve the application of Wolfeboro Property Holdings for tax relief incentives under RSA 79E, subject to the parties entering into a covenant agreement to ensure that the public benefits from the project will be realized for the duration of the tax benefit. I had town council draft the agreement, the covenant agreement that's in your packet. I sent it to Peter Cook, the applicant, that we had approved his application for the tax relief incentives, and he has reviewed it and informed me that it's fine with him. He has no objection to anything the way it's put forward.
All right, very good.
I believe he's in California, or else he would be here this evening. He communicated via email from California.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board on this?
Fine to me.
And I would entertain a motion then on this one.
I'll make the motion to approve and sign the covenant to protect public benefit with the Wolfeboro Property Holdings LLC pursuant to RSA Chapter 79-E.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next on our agenda is a discussion regarding our March meeting dates.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to ask if the board would be willing to consider changing your March meeting dates from the first and third Wednesdays to the second and fourth Wednesdays. The purpose of that change would be so that I can staff do the agenda preparation for the first meeting of the month, because I'm not going to be getting back here until the 28th. And then the next day, March 1st, is a Selectmen's meeting. So I obviously won't be doing that agenda preparation if you have the meeting on the first Wednesday.
What are the numbers, the 8th and then
The 8th and the 22nd, I believe it is,
22nd?
if the board's agreeable. And because there are 5 Wednesdays in March, it maintains at least the 2-week interval between the meetings going forward.
The only problem I have, I don't really have a problem doing it. The only problem I have is the one on the March 8th. That is the second Wednesday, which is our town meeting in Ospey that night, which I will be tied up there for that whole evening. So I wouldn't be able to attend it if we do it on the 8th. But that doesn't mean we can't, the board can't do it and
We
stuff.
make it
here,
on
so-
the
Can we
7th?
do it on the 9th?
The
Do
7th?
we have to have it on a Wednesday?
How about the 7th, Tuesday?
I think the 7th was set up for voting in here, aren't we?
Yeah, no, the 7th, no. Yeah, no, the 7th would be fine. We're fine on the 7th. Yep. It's the 14th voting,
Is
yes. Yes.
there planning board that night?
That was why well, no, because we'd be on and off.
Oh, yeah.
No, we wouldn't, no, they would be here.
Does he want it the 9th then?
No, the 7th would be a planning board. That would be the first one.
March 7 and 22?
Well, it
Ninth.
sounds like maybe you might want to keep those first and third Wednesdays, and Peter Chamberlain and Ann will just have to do the agenda preparation.
Let me actually, I'm going to
I won't
rethink
be
that
here on
from
the 1st.
what I just heard there, was that the actual voting is on the 14th?
Yes.
Tuesday, the 14th? Okay, so I got it messed up. Wednesday, the 15th is the day that is my town meeting night, so
So you'd
I
be
would be able to be all right on the 8th.
The 8th and 22nd then?
Yeah.
8th and 22nd is okay?
It's fine with me.
For everybody?
That works real well for
Okay.
me.
I'll move that the March Board of Selectmen's meetings be held this March on the 8th and 22nd, revised dates.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
That was a tough one.
It was. We got through it, though. Okay, any old business? Any other business? That takes us right to the town manager's report.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman, I had a few things I wanted to report out. The town warrants were posted on Friday, so we're all set to go as far as the deliberative session. The deliberative session is next Tuesday evening, of course. That's at 7 p.m. Right here in the Great Hall. And we'll have it set up the same as we did last year with the selectmen and the other officials up on the stage. We'll have the budget committee down here at the foot of the stage like we did last year. And we'll have the PowerPoints ready to go and everything. So I think we're all set in that regard. I'm working on the voter's guide. It's virtually complete. I just have to wait until the closing for filing for the different elected offices, so I can do the article about who's running for office on Article 1. And I know Mrs. Murray's already reviewed it and caught a few things, but I think generally found
Pretty
it to
good.
be in pretty good shape.
I thought it was very good, well done.
The up top there in the balcony, you'll remember we had some frozen pipes, and we had to burst through the walls to do the repairs. If you go up there now, you'll see that there's louvers that have been installed, and they look great. They look, it looks like it was done that way to begin with. And that work was done by one of our DPW staff, Jason Emmert, who has a very good, he's a good craftsman, handyman, and he did that. So we didn't really spend hardly anything for the repairs, and it looks great. If you get a chance to look at it. Also, we have ordered some additional window treatments for the building, including the 2 windows up there, because of the issue with the sun coming through in the late afternoon when we have afternoon events up here, and it tends to blind people down here. And we're also putting some window treatments up on that 3rd level in the south tower, because we got HVAC equipment that is visible through the windows up there, and it's sort of ugly to look at, so we're just going to put some window treatments up there. And then I've also had I had him measure the big window in the employee break room for window treatments, because I don't know if you've been in there or noticed that the employees have put a big piece of cardboard up over the window, which is, pretty ugly. So we're going to try to get rid of the cardboard and do regular window treatments on that window also.
Don't tell White and Strunk about pretty ugly.
Pardon?
Don't tell White and Strunk about pretty ugly.
Oh, okay. We had received a communication from the town of Wolfeboro. You may recall that they had invited us to attend an event over there in December, which they canceled. They're trying to get a meeting of a number of neighboring communities together to discuss issues and see if there's areas of cooperation, possible cooperation to work on things. They have offered some new dates now in February 7th, the 21st, and the 28th. The 7th is our deliberative session, of course, so that doesn't work. So I was going to inquire if any of you were available and willing to attend a meeting in Wolfeboro at 6:30 p.m. on any of those Tuesdays.
I could do the 21st, cannot do the 28th. Anybody want to join me?
21st is fine with me, too.
Would that be the 3rd? That'd be the 3rd Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a planning board night for me. Otherwise, I would go. I'll just check on what the agenda has. If it's not too bad that night, maybe I'd
Well, that would be
That
good.
road would
It would
too,
be
'cause-
nice to have a bunch of us.
Yeah.
I could actually be there representing 2 towns, so.
What time is that? 6:30?
6:30, he said.
6:30, which date are you selecting?
21st?
First.
Okay, Feb 21st. Very good. I'll inform them, and it'll be,
And if we go, there are going to be 3 of us going. You may need to notice it.
Yeah, true. This will be at the Public
We're just
Safety
going to a
Building.
meeting. Yeah.
I think at the town hall.
Linda, why don't you email me and I'll check my schedule, which I don't have here.
Okay, do that.
Okay, very good. I'll inform the town of Wolfeboro. We did, of course, receive the communication this afternoon from the Secretary of State's office about the special election. I believe the board also saw that. The filing period for filing for the state representative position is this coming Monday and Tuesday, February 6th and 7th. So it's a very short turnaround time. Unfortunately, it doesn't give any time for the newspaper to advertise it, although Tom said they would put it on their website. We've put it on our website as well. And so if you know anyone that's interested in running for that vacant position, please inform them that they need to file here at the town clerk's office on Monday or Tuesday of next week. A couple of other little things. Last weekend, we had 2 user groups use the Great Hall here, and one on Friday night and one on Saturday night. And we had some small issues with each group with their use. One group forgot to close all the windows. They left one of the windows cracked. Now, when they do dances up here, they get warm, I guess, and so they open the windows. So we're, heating the great outdoors during these events. And then they apparently, I was told they thought they had closed all the windows. They thought they had checked, but apparently one of them there was still a gap. It was not closed all the way. So I have talked to that group, and
We add that to the checklist of the things they should look to make
Oh,
sure
yeah.
all windows are shut and locked.
yeah, well, he was very apologetic. He said he thought he had checked all the windows, but apparently they hadn't. Then we had the other group, and they had a couple of issues. One, they had the tables out from underneath the stage there, and I guess when they shoved them back in, they must have did it sort of roughly, because they broke the fire, the sprinkler head, and that had to be repaired. And then I was also told that they had people wandering around downstairs, like in the planning office.
What's the name of that group?
That was the Appalachian Mountain Teen Group.
Was that a teen dance?
I'm not certain what kind of function they had, but I've communicated with both groups that they need to monitor what's going on and use the facility with care.
In our use thing, where I think we proposed a $50 thing, maybe we should add that any damage such as heat loss or breaking of things should be repaired at their cost. Do we have that?
We don't have that in there presently.
Why don't we add that? I mean, it's a common thing to add in case they break windows or chairs or anything,
I think we would have to visit that as a policy change and have a hearing
I
on
think so, it's a
it.
policy change, yeah.
Do you have to have a hearing on that?
I think we should
think
at
we
least
should,
have a
yeah.
public hearing on it so people can.
David, why don't you set that up for the public hearing for the week you're back?
Okay.
Mr. Owen, I thought we were to have a block on the elevator so you could, because that's the only way they can get in is to go down that elevator and get off on that floor.
Yeah, well, that never happened. And
Do we want to, can this elevator have that lock?
it could. The request for it, we requested that back during the closeout period for the rehab project multiple times. It never came back to us, and there would be a substantial cost.
Did you get an estimate on what that cost is? Because didn't we have about $4,000 left in that warrant article amount?
It's been pretty well expended at this point.
I would like to at least have a cost, because, I mean, you get the wrong group and they go down there, and we have a lot of equipment that could get damaged in there. Thought we had.
We've got sensitive files in there too and stuff, and it's, yeah. Yep. I think it'd definitely be worth looking into, see if we could
Okay.
get a cost and
Very good.
that way.
Or a gate down there,
The gators come out the elevator.
or something that would they legally could close across that thing and lock it. So the door would still open, but there'd be like a steel gate right there. If that was cheaper, I don't know.
I don't know.
As an option, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and the last thing I wanted to mention is, as you know, I'm going to be leaving for a couple of weeks. But before that, I'm going to be also leaving this Friday early. I'll be leaving about midday because I'm attending a memorial service for a good friend of mine back in the Midwest. So I'm going to Missouri over the weekend.
Okay, is that it for your,
That's it.
okay. I guess we're up to committee reports. We'll start with you, Dave.
I went to the library committee where their main concentration is the $5 million new library that's proposed for 2018 and the raising of funds for it. As that was discussed also, your mother, Mrs. Harriman, was honored and with nice memories going for about a 10-minute discussion. And everything is fine with the library committee.
Thank you, Dave. The only meeting I was able to attend was I did attend a Friends of Libby meeting back on the 17th, I believe, and we had discussions there regarding a possibility of some new exhibits being donated to the museum, which are in the preliminary stage right now. So, and that was really it for me for the past couple of weeks.
I attended the Chamber Social, which was out at Allen's Furniture. It was nice to be able to go in and see how that facility had changed. And last night I was here for the Business Retention and Expansion Leadership Quarterly Meeting, and we went over the subcommittees and how much work we had gotten done on the implementation of the goals that came out of that study. So that's all I have.
Luke?
I don't have any.
Nothing? Okay. Questions from the press? Yep. Okay. All right. Actually, you just notified me that when you're sitting there talking, they can't hear you at all on TV and stuff, so if you wanted to use the mic or... It's okay, you got to use the mic if you want to be heard on TV.
Just want to let people know that we always publish a list of who signed up through Tuesday. So they have one more day, up to 5 o'clock on Friday if they want to throw their hat in the ring.
Yep.
And I noted that Linda and Dave have both signed up for re-election.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. We'll open up to public input. If anybody would like to, from the public, has anything they'd like to speak to us or ask us about? Nothing?
Nothing?
Quiet night tonight.
Yeah, I'd like it this way.
Yeah. Okay, I guess
Would
next...
you like a motion?
I would.
I move that we go into non-public session.
We have a motion to go to non-public.
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor of the yes vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.